Good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica. Yesterday we have discussed digitalis, a clinical remedy. Today we are going to learn one more clinical remedy in practice, Dioscorea Villosa. Generally, we never think of this remedy in day-to-day practice, but it is one of the important remedies when the modalities matches. I will going to share two acute cases. One is acute, another one acute presentation of chronic. That both cases I will going to present. First case was a young lady, in fact around 25 years of age. She was brought to me with a severe colic, and she said today only she got the menses and she had a very severe pain, and she was just standing and keeping her head like that and continuously doing this and that and completely bending backwards in a straight position, stretching her body. That was very severe. She said few things. First important thing, she was not able to sit. She is not able to lie down. She is not able to bend. She was only in stretching position. In one position, she used to feel better, or either continuously moving. These are the two things. But she doesn't carry that strength to continuously move. It was very severe, constricting, gripping type of pain was there, and she was crying for the help. She has already consumed tablet Discman, but not worked. In fact, it has not worked even after 2 hours of taking the Discman. And that's why she was brought to me in acute state. So modalities were very clear. Then I asked, what else, anything else, what you are going to tell? And she said one important thing, that, sir, I got the menses in the morning. I was little bit better. I had a pain, which was bearable at that time to start with. But after some time, after waking, I had taken a tea, and after taking tea, I got fullness in my abdomen, and then the pain started, and it is not getting settled. Thereafter, I have taken that Discman. My brother brought the Discman from the medical shop, and that I consumed, and I'm not getting the relief. 2 hours have been passed, and I'm absolutely in standing position since then. Could not able to sit. Whenever I tried to sit, it used to pain more. So modalities were very characteristic. The patient is having a very creeping, constricting pain, dysmenorrhea, with severe, with aggravation by bending forward, aggravation by lying down, aggravation by sitting, and only amelioration in stretching the body or bending backward. A very opposite modalities to commonly mentioned medicines for dysmenorrhea, the colocin or MACPOS, etc. This was unique. And this is diascoria. So this is the thing with which she has explained. There is one more modality which was indicating diascoria. The drinking tea aggravates the diascoria. So that was another occasion, another thing which she has mentioned. So there was severe pain, and in acute state, I have given Dioscorea 200, 3 doses. I asked her to stand over there, and when you feel better, sit over there. I will see you after 15 minutes. I put 4 globules of Dioscorea 200 in her mouth. After 5 to 7 minutes, she felt better. She sat in the OPD. And after 15 minutes, nearly about 70% pain was settled. I have repeated 3 doses of Dioscorea, asked her to meet me tomorrow, and Dioscorea worked, relieved the spasm so acutely. It has that capacity to relieve the spasm in such a state, but modality is very specific in Dioscorea. So that was an acute case which I have, where I have utilized Dioscorea, and you can watch the Dioscorea very easily. Because generally, whenever the dysmenorrhea is there or acute colic is there, patient always comes in bending forward position, keeping hands either pressure. Someone tries to apply the heat over there, but they always bends forward in order to get relief. Here, exactly opposite happens. And that's why it is too important to understand the positions and modalities over there. These modalities are very essential for understanding the Dioscorea. Second important case was, it was a case of little bit 3-4 months duration of right sciatica. There was severe lame back because of pain. And the patient complains 2-3 things. He was having pain from right from the hips to the thighs and even to the lower extremity up to the feet. And he mentioned that he had cramps in his muscles, and they are getting like that in the muscles of toes, and they were getting like this, the toes muscles. It was a flexors which were getting contraction over there. Second important thing was second important thing was that patient was explaining same modality. Patient was not feeling well in lying down position. The aggravation was there. Second important modality was the patient was in single position. If patient stands still, the pains would get relieved. Then third modality in the case was patient cannot walk for a certain distance. The pain used to get aggravated. And he explained again the same, as if something is getting constricted over there. That type of pain was there. So right-sided sciatica looks close to the MAC-FOS. But in MAC-FOS, there are other modalities. MAC-FOS feels better by hot application. It was not there. But this constricting, gripping pain with a cramps in flexors of the toes, that is very, very characteristic of the Dioscorea. Always keep it in your mind. The toes becomes like this. That is the cramp when they get that flexor. It never extends. It goes into the flexor state. Cramps of flexors. So again, I have selected the same remedy, Dioscorea. Here I have given Dioscorea 1M to the patient because it was internal pain more at the neurological level, nervous system. So I have selected Dioscorea 1M repeated. This remedy bears repetition. It is short-acting remedy. Some books, it has been said that the duration is not mentioned, but it is acutely acting remedy. 1 to 7 days action is there. And you can repeat it in this with this remedy. So I have given Dioscorea 1M to the patient, TDS 3 times a day for a period of a week. Ask the patient to visit me after 4-5 days. And when patient came, patient was in a much better condition. Nearly about 60 to 70% pain was relieved. The sciatica settled. But most important thing what patient explained was that cramps have stopped. The cramps in the toes, they were completely stopped. And that was the more important thing which indicated that your remedy has perfectly acted. So I have continued with the Dioscorea. Nearly about 15 more days I have repeated, and patient completely recovered. And then I have explained the patient to go for spinal extension exercises to get a complete relief and in order to prevent the further problem. So these are things which you can utilize. These are the common things with which you can utilize this remedy. This is very close to staphysagria also, but the staphysagria's indignation is not there. But at the level of sexual sphere, staphysagria and Dioscorea comes very closer. So we're going to learn this remedy from the Allen's keynotes. Open your book, Allen's Dioscorea Villosa, wild dam, that is the common name, and Dioscorea C is the family. Dr. A.M. Cushing is who has proved this remedy. Dr. A.M. Cushing. The persons of feeble digestive powers. See, this is first sentence is very important. Digestion is very weak, very weak. There is always a flatulence. So people with feeble digestive powers, old or young. So it might be in old patients, it might be in younger persons. Flatulence after meals or after eating, especially of tea drinkers. This sentence one should not forget. Even the patient takes meals, it gets aggravated. Even patient takes the something for eating, the flatulence increase. Specifically those who have habit of tea drinking. So tea drinking also aggravates the problem. Flatulence, these are the people who are often subject to violent colic. So this is colic remedy, like colocin, like McFoss. This is one more remedy where one should not forget for colic. There is gripping pain in the abdomen about the umbilicus. Violent twisting colic. Twisting colic patient is continuously moving the position. Very important. Twist. He goes into twisting position. Occurring in regular paroxysms as if intestines were grasped and twisted by some powerful hand. The feeling is very important. Patient tells someone has just twisting my intestines. This is very typical with this remedy. Patient talks in that sense. Doctor माझ्या आतडी पार पिळवटून निघाले. That is the simple Marathi sentence which they used to use. Colic pains aggravated by bending forward. This is exactly opposite to the colocin, McPass, and while lying down, and ameliorated by standing erect or bending backwards. It has been mentioned in bracket reverse of colocin. So exactly opposite to colocin, exactly opposite to the McPass. This is very typical modality with which you can define the remedy. Emissions during sleep. This is the these are sexual symptoms which are very important. Emissions during sleep. Vivid dreams of women all night like staphysagrия. So here it is close to staphysagrия. But staphysagrիa's indignation is not there with this remedy. Knees are weak, genitals are cold, and great despondency. That despondency is secondary to the impotency, secondary to the sexual weakness, because of which the despondency is there in. Staphysagrия is one more remedy, but staphysagrия, there is a impotency is associated with masturbation tendency, more commonly in staphysagrия. Phelons. Phelons means there are abscesses at the fingertips, very typical. Early when pains are sharp and agonizing, when pricking is first felt. So before an abscess develops, the pricking pains which comes in the abscesses, it is an early phase, the phelon, that is the remedy is Dioscorea. It is well followed by silicia. You can give silicia later to complete the cure. Nails are brittle, brittle nails. Brittle means tissue. Disposition to paronychia. Paronychia, it is nail bed infection or along with nail, there is an infection. It is too painful. Heparsulp is one more remedy. This is one more remedy for it. Relationship, compare colocin, phosphorus, podophyllum. Three remedies for specifically for the abdominal complaints, the flatulent complaints, the diarrhea over there, indigestion over there. Rustox and silicia for these phelons, for these abscesses, for this paronychia. These are two remedies which you have to compare. Modalities, aggravation lying, aggravation by sitting, aggravation by bending double. These are very typical characteristics. Forward bending always causes an aggravation to this Dioscorea people. Amelioration by motion, amelioration by walking, amelioration by motion, but walking is difficult, but still patient compelled to walk even though tired. Because of tiredness, he tries to avoid walking, but he has to walk because walking walking in stretched position, erect position, little bit gives the relief to the patient. So that's all about the Dioscorea villosa, a very important remedy. Boric has elaborated it little bit more. So my suggestion to all of you is go through the Boric Smart Remedica, find it out the remedy and read it again today. So you'll never forget the Dioscorea and you're going to utilize the Dioscorea in practice. So two cases we have discussed, the sciatica case, right-sided specific sciatica and a dysmenorrhea. But this remedy, it is not only dysmenorrhea, any colic is very useful in this remedy. It is not gallstone colic, it is a remedy. Renal colic, it is a remedy. There are two important things which are there. In these both conditions, the pains flies in both directions. They goes up as well as down. That is very characteristic with the Dioscorea. They even the gallstone colic is there. The pain radiates upwards towards the lung as well as lower side towards the thighs. So this is the direction of the pains which happens to be there in this remedy. So we have learned one more acute remedy in our practice, useful in our practice, that is the Dioscorea villosa. And repetition, you can repeat, even you can go for high up to the 1M. I have used 3200 1M, not more than that, and not needed because this remedy works beautifully even in 200. So that's all for today. Any query is there, we can have a chat, otherwise we'll conclude. And next, another thing that on Friday there will be no lecture. Friday I have a session with on Gaurang's platform. It will be a psoriasis, its complications and homeopathic management. I will going to share three very characteristic cases of complications which I have treated with the help of homeopathy, and I will share my approach towards the psoriasis. So thank you, and we'll meet tomorrow again with the new remedy. Good night.